Just figured I'd go live because I'm wondering what's going on. I woke up after falling asleep during a movie, and it's like looking at all the Christmas lights outside. It's pretty pretty. Yeah, all that stuff. It's kind of nice being in a dark house sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. It's been just like freaking crazy how time keeps flying by so quick. It really is. It's like, a lot of people don't realize that we are all in this hell of a situation. So looking at it all, it's like, it's like we don't know everything. If you think you know everything, yeah, not even I know everything. I can only guess. I can only guess if I know whatever I know. But what's up? That's the only thing is what's up. How you feeling? That's the question. How are you all feeling? Are you feeling good? I know I got my hood on, but it's cold outside. It's so cold outside that I have to come outside again to cool down because it's hot. My dad's got the heater turned up so freaking high. Like this year's Christmas for me is gonna be completely different. My kids are. I'm gonna be waking the kids up, taking them to. It's just different. It's different. Not like it used to be. Where Christmas was like where the family would all be together. It's just so split up. And then looking at it and just knowing it, it's like feels like I'm lying to my kids. It's like because I know the truth. There was a Santa Claus. There was, and I always tell my kids there was a Santa Claus. It was Saint Nick. There was an actual Saint Nick. So don't think you're lying, but the magical part, you're stretching the truth a little bit there. Out of tradition, you're lying, but it's out of tradition, so it's okay. I don't know. The whole thing about that is kind of creepy. I can see it being. You already have enough to fucking question about. Well, I don't know. I'm just thinking, is it okay to lie about frivolous things? Like, do I look fat in this shirt? I know I'm fat as hell when it comes to this shirt. Is it okay to lie about it? That's the question. And would you want to handle the truth? Are you expected to lie? That's what I want to know. I know that's got to be like the worst thing you can do is just not be honest. But we're so in tone with being okay with the white, they consider them white lies. I've never heard of a black lie before, but it is what it is. Merry Christmas. Yeah, Merry Christmas. No, really, Merry Christmas. The spirit of the holiday is a good aspect of this holiday, and that should never die with anything. This holiday should last every day of the week, in my opinion. Wouldn't it be nice if we could wake up where everybody treated everybody as it was Christmas Day? Why couldn't this happen every day? Why couldn't we be giving and thankful to everybody every day? And instead of just one day, oh, we can only, yeah, well, it's Christmas. You have an excuse to be kind to the homeless now and kind to the people that are unfortunate, which is pretty much 80% of the population. At the very, very least, 80%. It's probably like 95 or something. Because you got the 1% with billions and millions of dollars, and they don't want to share it with nobody. That isn't going to benefit them at all. And there you got some that will, but not very, very few that'll share. Just because they give $1 million to charity out of their billions of wealth, oh, they're a good person. I don't see that flying. Look at the aspect of it. It's like it even says, if you think about it, it makes common sense. Everything makes common sense. And I'm not here to make 1 million subscribers because I don't care. I don't want 1 million subscribers. I'm going to tell you how I feel from my heart, from my understanding. I ain't going to fill you full of a whole bunch of shit just so you subscribe to my channel. Just because I want you to like me. I'm not going to tell you that. No, you can like me for who I am and how I'm honest about everything that I explain or how I feel at the time. My thoughts change, my ideas change. I mean, I'm still learning. Even though I'm like 40, I'm still learning stuff in this life. I'm not going to ever be perfect in this life. I think it's impossible to be perfect in this life. You can strive for perfection, but you can never achieve it in this life. So, if that's your goal to be perfect, you're on the wrong path. You're on a path to problems because you're never going to have a perfect fucking screen. You're never going to have a perfect computer. There's always going to be one glitch, one annoying little thing you have to deal with, because that's just the way what world we live in. No matter how much money you have, you're never going to have something perfect in your life. I mean, you're never going to have a perfect wife. You're never going to have a perfect kid. You're never going to have something perfect. You're going to always find some flaw in it. And that's the whole thing, is we got to learn to deal with it. Tell him the truth. When they get older, we're carrying on his tradition. It's not a lie. Yeah, Team Ranger. Merry Christmas. Only thing I would like to know is the fact of the principle of Christmas shouldn't be, even God. I mean, even if you were to talk to Jesus, if you read the Bible and if you understand what Jesus was, and this is what it's supposed to be. It was. I mean, but if you look into the history of it, the truth will set you free. That's another thing. But if you look at it just from this particular angle, if Jesus was born in Christmas, and if he was the Jesus, of that time, and even if he was born in Christmas, and like from my understanding, probably not. But I don't like to say that because maybe I missed something. I just saying from my understanding, I don't think he was born in December because of certain things that state otherwise. But that's for you to figure out. But otherwise, the point is, even if he was, and everything follows, he would have never said, "Oh, only on my birthday give everything to somebody else. Only on my birthday frickin' decorate the halls with boughs of jolly. No, only on my birthday give to people that in need." And then, he basically probably would be like, what's up with that Halloween right before my birthday? I don't think I'd be really happy. Like, oh, you did Halloween and then you're going to do Christmas and the same exact. Wait a second. Wait. Santa Claus was actually real. He was Saint Nick, and they exaggerate. I actually, I didn't know that until recently, but he actually was a very kind and loving saint back in the day. Like, he did exactly what he does, but back when he was alive. And they traditionally brought him into this as Santa Claus because they wanted everybody to remember how grateful and how kind he was. Kind of removing Jesus out of the picture of the whole entire thing, which in a sense he was the one that literally was God in the flesh. I mean, an example of God, if at the very least, due to several different ideas, and because the Bible is not very, let's just say, it can be reworded in English in multiple ways, but if you look at it in one language, another language, English is the only language that confuses people, from my understanding. It's the only way you can read the Bible and come up with multiple conclusions. That's why the America has 500 different sections of Christianity, if not more than 500. I lost count. So, point is, only thing I say is Merry Christmas, because I say, but I think it's just a tradition that everybody needs to reconcile with, because we're doing things in this world that is far weirder, and it's just, and we tolerate it, and we shouldn't. We shouldn't tolerate certain things. If we believe in this holiday, we shouldn't tolerate certain things, period. And, this holiday was still based on a biblical sense. And if we have that biblical sense, regardless, it's what's in our heart that counts. It's not if it's right or, if we believe it and it's, even though it might be wrong, it's like, it's more forgiving than knowing it's wrong and then doing it. Because, you can't be held accountable. God isn't going to hold you accountable for something that is a good thing and not a bad thing. And at least I don't see it happening. And conscience doesn't irritate me in that way. But if you know it's a bad thing, or it's a good thing, but yet a bad thing at the same time, you're gonna look stupid unless you tell people, hey, this is actually a good idea to do this all the time, and it's actually a good idea to do more research, because if you seek the truth, you'll find it. You do not need nobody to teach you what the truth is. All you have to do is look and want to know what the truth is, and hate a lie, and stop lying if you are, and you will find it. It will come to you. That's as simple as that. I point out the fact that premier hell, we live in hell. This is what hell is. This is where all there's angels in hell right now that have sinned. They're locked up. There's some that, not the main one, but there's some locked up according to what it says. I don't know how everything was translated and how accurate it was translated, but that's what they're saying. And if the religion was based off the Bible, and Bible is based off religion, and if, and it's common sense, we came from something. We didn't come from nothing. Atheists, that's the only thing that they can't, that kind of bounces right back to it. We had to have come from something, because nothing means we wouldn't exist. Period. Because we couldn't have a Big Bang where the Big Bang come from. See, something does not come from nothing, and the scientists have proven that. You can't make something from nothing. The definitions of our words describe that. And the Word was, and the Word was with God. So, actually, the gifts are given in remembrance of the kings. That gifts star on the tree represents the star that led them. And the angel represents the angel that told Mary. Yeah, but the whole problem with that whole scenario is that in the Bible, it literally points to a warmer climate, and it could have never happened in the December, unless, since the times and seasons are changing, since it took 2,000 years, and maybe the Earth tilted on its axis, and now we're in December because of how much the Earth has changed. And say that there's a concept I'm not aware of. I just thought of that at the top of my head as a possibility. But what's another coincidence is December 20, around the same exact date, was a pagan religious holiday, and they always tried to merge to get people to get along. They always try to merge certain holidays together, like the sun worshiping, and like the pagan holidays when it comes with no Jesus, no nothing, and coincidentally, December 25th was exactly when you would actually notice on a stick or a peg that there was a difference, and the sun's coming back. You would notice it. Before, the 3-day difference would be a very, very hard to discover difference in a shadow because of the way light bends. But that's why I'm thinking 25th would have been the most noticeable difference between the sun coming the other direction, coming closer to the earth. And that is a fact in science, that exactly this day sun's coming back. And so they're thinking the son of God, and we can just relate it. But even God, even Jesus or whatever, never said we should be celebrating people's birthdays, or the only thing we should be celebrating is their death. And he didn't die in the winter either. So Christmas should have been on his death and on the Passover, if it was going to be the right day to do it. Because in remembrance of him, we're supposed to remember his passing and his passing, the Passover. Christmas is not as important as that, because he didn't say, "Hey, worship me when I was born." No, he said, "Remember me when I died." He never said that. It's always remember him when he left, after he did what he did. That's what he said. So just what I remember from it. And just I think Christmas is a great holiday, but I just don't think it's, honest, and it encourages everybody to commit sin on top of it because you got to lie to your kids. You have to lie to everybody to do Christmas. You have to lie to your kids. The one people in this planet you should never lie to, you have to lie to make Christmas possible. That's why I think it's a devil's holiday. I mean, along with Halloween and all the other crap, but regardless, I really don't. I mean, I don't know. I don't really like freaking the other ones either. You know, some of them are just kind of weird. Because I know Easter Sunday, there's no freaking bunny rabbit in the Bible laying Easter eggs. It's just so twisted, and they twist it and make everybody think it's good. I don't know. I mean, I do know, but what are we gonna do? Judge me for that? I'm being honest. Being honest, and I feel this way is. I feel like I'm thinking I got it right. But I mean, does it matter? I mean, am I a saint for telling you this? And that's the truth. It ain't. I mean, I really believe that. Team Ranger. I don't think it happened in December. I don't believe it did. Even though the whole point is we have to lie to our kids on a holiday that promotes Jesus. Isn't that a slap in the face along with like the other stuff that's going on in this world that I don't even want to bring up because I'll probably get shadow banned on YouTube? I mean, I'm just saying this is Christmas. I want to keep it focused on this because I really believe it's a good holiday for people and cheer and they have faith, they have good ideas, they have good intentions. But if it's all a crock of shit, I mean, not to say it's just based off of, and I even I was at the table on Thanksgiving telling everybody at the table, and my dad was like, "Oh, you're just gonna ruin everything for your kids." And it's like, I don't, he didn't understand where I was coming from. Because I told him it's literally this whole entire holiday is nothing but a marketing gimmick for the fucking people on this, the rich people on the earth to sell you something for at the actual double the price instead of 3 times the markup. That's what it is. I mean, Christmas is nothing other than a time to make the government a ton of tax money. So the government's not going to be mad at you. Well, they can be mad at me, but Christmas is overrated. I mean, it is not applying the knowledge of God. It is not encouraging. It's short-term love. Short-term, like, oh, you only can love on this day. You can only give presents on their birthday and there's no reason to give presents on somebody's birthday or on their thing. Because a birthday, everybody, and when you get older, everybody hates their birthdays, but believe me, I don't want to go to my next birthday. Once you get past 30, 31 sucks. Believe me. 21's like the best birthday ever, and that's the last birthday you'll actually enjoy. Because you got access because you're old. Or wait, maybe until you get the retirement years. But, I mean, I know a little bit too much about certain aspects, I think. Let's say I got better theories on certain aspects of this world. And they were inspired, I think. And I don't think that I come up with them on my own. Maybe when I'm sober, I can explain them. But, I mean, I do know what I did get a good idea about time, and I really liked that one. And I liked it because the theory of relativity actually kind of includes this. And this was Einstein's theory of relativity. And I didn't know that it was relating to my idea that I had when I was a kid about time and relativity. It's just mind-boggling, but it's kind of like it kind of breaks out of the scope of religion and kind of brings science right next to God in a sense, and mathematically proves the existence of time and God. I mean, it's really really complicated for me to point all that stuff out when it's getting late, but I find it very intriguing and interesting if I can maybe give it to you in a little bit of small doses because it's a huge concept, but it's based off that really hard theory to understand, which is another theory. Well, there's other theories, and I don't even think Einstein even understood the Big Bang theory. The Big Bang theory is pretty much a theory that we've came out of existence out of an explosion in the universe, which is kind of like, wow, what type of, but some people don't, they know that's just a theory. Some people think it's scientific evidence, and it's like, oh, because the scientists said it. But you guys got to realize that a theory is just a good idea to explain how things could have happened when you don't know how it actually happened. You weren't there to witness. So if you don't know what a theory means a good idea that people agree with. That's all a theory means. A good idea that many people agree with, that follows logical pathways, logical understanding. Like you can follow the idea. It doesn't go into science fiction realm. It doesn't go into far-fetched, like it doesn't go into the God realm, pretty much. Because that's what they kind of think. I think, and maybe that's just an idea I just had right now, but it makes sense because if you understood the difference between the God realm and then our actual realm, because we live in the realm of humanity, this little tiny dirt planet, and we know that because science is not lying to us about this, what they can see and visualize. They're just assuming what they can see, and they don't know how to prove it. I don't think they're doing anything on purpose to generally make us not believe that there's a God, but I don't believe that they're doing all that stuff on purpose. If it's I don't think because it's okay to not believe there's a God, but I'm just saying it would be not okay to tell people there isn't a God because there's no proof. You have no proof to say otherwise, because that would be wrong morally and immorally, because you can't really say there is no God, and you can't say, and that likewise, you couldn't say, I can prove there's God. Well, you have more evidence that there is a God than there isn't a God. I mean, because of the fact that the definition of nothing and the definition of something is the opposite of nothing. And if there's no God, we wouldn't even exist. Because the energy from something equals something. And if we came from nothing, that would mean that we didn't exist. Common logical computing algorithms. I even got Google's AI or ChatGPT to point out, and even so did several other people do it. I worded it in a simple way, pretty much said that we had to have been created by something, because nothing cannot create something. Nothing cannot create something. You cannot have a big bang and create the intelligent understanding that we got. You cannot look at our history. Look back in time. You cannot go back to the 1800s, like 200 years ago, have these little cars, and all of a sudden, boom, have fucking rockets 200 years later when we've already been through 2,000 years of history. We know it because we got ancestors. We got people that know they've been there, and we can't advance this fast without there being something causing it. That's what obviously is like happening in the last 100 years. And I was like I literally grew up in this insane time when pretty much right when Windows fucking dropped, right when Nintendo came out. Like I was finally aware I wasn't getting my diaper changed. But yeah, anyways, point is we don't know everything. We can only think that we think we have an understanding of it. And I'm still learning. I ain't gonna lie to you. I am still fucking learning myself. And saying the F word and saying these things, I don't think that's okay. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't sound smart. I agree with you. I say it out of dumbass habit, but it's an expression, and don't forget me. I'm gonna try to correct myself on that F word bomb that I keep doing. But got myself in a bad habit, But my whole thing is pretty much it's. I just want to get people to. I want everybody to get other people. It's like if they hate me, I don't think anybody should hate anybody. Period. Nobody should be hating anybody. I mean, they hate what they do. I mean, that's the only thing. It's like I've been part of a religious organization when I was younger, and I agree with almost everything they did, except for the fact that they were a little too quick to disfellowship their members. It's like if you want somebody to do what is right, you're going to be there for thick and thin, and you're going to walk them through it, and you're going to do what you can to keep them doing what you think is what you think is right, and then show them what is right. And then if they think something else could be right, then then everybody's got to be able to look at it, because that's what I like about America's policies and why we won the war. You believe this? It was out there. It was a video on YouTube. I watched it. It was literally, we won this war because we prayed to God. We were one nation under God. And we had morals. We were in the 60s. We didn't have to lock our car doors because people had morals. People had integrity. People had honor. People wouldn't do that. They wouldn't snoop low. They didn't want to feel bad. They had consciences. And now we're in a time where people don't even care about that shit, man. I would be ashamed of myself if I had to break into somebody's car just so I could get out of the cold. But I would never break into somebody's car otherwise. Just try to get out of the cold, get the cold off of me, because I would survive better in an enclosed environment, and I know that. I'm not dumb. But I don't know. Nowadays, people can steal people's stereos and, just a slight slap on the wrist. Don't get me wrong. I don't give a crap about a slap on the wrist as long as they learn their lesson. I'm not going to do it again. You know what I mean? And if they're going to do it again, I don't want nobody else to get their... I don't think the stereo's that important, but I don't want my window broken. I'll leave my damn car door unlocked. Can I break my fucking car door window? That costs 5 times more than my car stereo. Maybe your stereo is worth more than your window, but mine isn't. I got mine at Walmart for $20, and they broke my window to get it out. I wonder how much the pawn shop gave for a $20 radio. He might have cut his finger. And he's like, this cost me a bloody finger. And I stole it. It's a Rampage Walmart radio. Well, no, it was actually a Kmart radio, and Kmart went out of business. Maybe that's why they went out of business. Maybe that's why fucking Kmart went out of business. They stole my car stereo. Yeah, it's ironic because... it's ironic because they ended up not even charging me. I ended up getting that stereo accidentally for free, if I remember right. Because, I was about ready to go, man, they didn't even charge me for the freaking stereo, and I went out. Like, I didn't get the money. They didn't take my money out of my shit. It wasn't on the ticket. I was like, it wasn't on my receipt. Like, I got it for free. And I was like, what should I do? Should I go back and tell them they screwed up? I got distracted. I don't remember if I could have went back and said that or I didn't. I didn't even bother. I just looked at it as a hey. I did actually get charged double a couple times for some things. So I guess this breaks us even. Because I've seen him actually do that to me. And I'm like, I thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, there's a couple times. We're almost even now. So the next time I see a double thing on my purchase, because sometimes I ring things up twice and they only got one, or I didn't get something. I was like, well, I guess it wasn't a detrimental amount of money that I'd have to be like so compulsively concerned about. I mean, it was something that would break the whole government's anti-theft thing. I didn't purposely steal anything, so whatever. And I did when I was younger. I stole shit. I stole shit when I was younger. Until I realized it affects everybody. It's like pretty much anytime you steal something, it's like, oh, you're getting it for free. No, you're not. You're taxing your friend, your best friend, everybody around you, your family and everybody. You're taxing everybody. Everything, every single time you steal something, and every single time the government gives fucking money to Ukraine or some other country, they're raising the percentage of everything and all the goods and services by a certain number. That number, I am not that intelligent to. I mean, I would bore the fudge out of you if I tried to do the math. But it does. It will affect it eventually, and when they spend it, that's when it'll affect it. It doesn't affect it when it actually happens. It doesn't. I mean, like you can give me $1 billion. The government can give me $1 billion, and I guarantee you, you wouldn't notice the effects. It would take probably 50 years, because I wouldn't even give it. I wouldn't spend it like it was fucking money. I would literally spend it as a necessity. I would be the most conservative little turd ass with that money, because I know it wasn't money I earned or money made. And so that's the point, because I still have $1,000 worth of the the COVID money. Yeah, whatever. I do, but either way, I'm not bragging, but I don't even want to spend it. Because it's already fucked up the damn economy too fucking bad. I did lose money from that. I don't give a shit. It was money we didn't have, but it will help me pay my rent eventually when I need to. I only have 1,000 left. But I took that COVID money and I saved it. I knew it was going to come in handy eventually. I mean, because I didn't need it at the time. But I just knew it was going to raise the economy's prices. But it's already been saving my life ever since. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, I should put it, everybody's saying I'm going to just put it on my credit card. Because that'll never go away. I have two options. I could put the $1,000 on an attorney to go bankrupt, or I can just put it on my credit card and work it off. And I think I need to work it off because I need the exercise anyways. And just from me, I think that's what I'm going to do. Unless you guys want to donate $1 million to me to do all that, but then you still got to make sure I exercise. So don't donate unless you see me losing weight. I mean, because I definitely need that exercise. I need some motivation. I need some exercise. I don't care what it is, whether it's running around giving your money to somebody that needs it, like Mr. Beast, which I think would be hella fun. I mean, I don't care. If you want to give me money to give to somebody else, you let me know in the thing. Even though they're going to take 30%, so I have 30%, whatever it is, you give me, I give to them if it comes to, because they disable my freaking stupid ass PayPal account, so you can't PayPal me anything. Because I don't know, because I was using it as a transaction because it was easier just to pay rent. But I mean, I didn't do any tax evasion. It was just but I forgot. I didn't realize I could have just had it split through the payment method. of the website, which, duh, didn't dawn on me until later. Go figure. We don't always do anything. Fine, good evening, Premier Hell. Hey, Four Corners Report. Good to see you. Good to see you, Four Corners. Team Ranger. I mean, Team Rangers, you guys, if you guys don't have Team Ranger, he's good. He's a really good guy. He helps people. And it's good content. And I think Four Corners Reports has great content too. You know, I mean, everybody in this realm of YouTube is struggling. So giving them a present of a subscribe and watch. If you can, do not subscribe. Hey, do not watch partial videos and do not make slight comments. I'm telling you, that'll ruin their algorithm. I'm not dumb, and I know how algorithms work, and I know how this YouTube platform. It's better that you just subscribe and not say a damn word on any videos unless you watch the whole entire video. It's very important for the algorithm to work correctly if you watch the whole entire video before you comment. You can comment in the middle of the video also, that's fine, but you still have to watch it in its entirety of any video you choose. And the more you do watch, it actually helps their channel tremendously. If you want to support them without any money, that is the biggest way to support any channel, is to watch their videos all the way from the beginning to the end, no matter how boring they could possibly be. That's why I tell people avoid sleep streams, because it could hurt your channel's potential growth. Because the longer the video, the less people can watch it all the way through. And the algorithm, that's how the algorithm works. I mean, it's very easy. So, I mean, if you have to leave to go to his channel, go for it. You know, I'm not worried about my channel. My channel is doing fabulous. I mean, more than I could ever expect. You guys have been very great and kind. I'm not, this isn't this isn't a source of income that I rely upon. And if it was, I would be actually I should make this. I should actually go live all the time and be more attentive to everybody. And I could probably get a little bit more revenue through advertising since I'm monetized. Maybe I'll do that, because I think I have an opportunity there, and I wouldn't have to work, but occasionally I kind of like the exercise. I like the hard labor, except for I don't like the ridiculously hard labor like they have me doing, which is overworking me. But it was not their fault. It was my fault. I should have known better. Either way, I should have known better. I thought that I was immune to all sorts of mechanical failures. I really did. I thought I was immune to all sorts of mechanical failures. But yeah, I had tennis elbow, tetanus elbow. I had every elbow you could find in the junkyard, all destroyed due to the fact that I overworked it. It happens. We all end up with our problems. But yeah, I don't know. You guys, I really, how you doing? We got Northern Ohio Railroad Auction, not action. How you doing, man? Four Corners. It's kind of neat that when you do it, you highlight it on here, and it actually says that it highlights my name in red, so I can see that somebody actually said my name. I like that. It's kind of neat. Glad you're doing well. I'm doing pretty damn good, It's like, I mean, that could be worse, It's like I'm worried about just stupid shit, I've been procrastinating on bill payments because, it's like I don't want to get my credit card payment so high. But regardless, I really had nothing to worry about, But the only thing I hate the most in this life is to asking my parents for money. But isn't that what they're already assuming I'm going to do? That's the thing, is I rarely have ever had to ask my parents for money. I mean, he's helped me out a lot. My dad and because Christmas presents going to help pay the power bill. You know how much my power bill is going to probably be? I mean, how do you want to look at it? I mean, I know it's available to pay it off. So bad. But yeah, November power bill is probably going to be a lot of money. But yeah, and I hate freaking bills. I think everybody does, especially the fact that our power bills all went up about. It used to be 6 cents, and I think it went up to like 9 or 8 or something like that per kilowatt hour for everybody across the nation. I could be wrong, but I think it's somewhere around there. That's a lot of money if you add it up per hour, and you're using the power to heat your home. That's a lot of fucking money. I mean, think about it. Your power bill was $200 one year, and now it's going to be 2 cents. 2 cents per minute, or actually hour, kilowatt hours is pretty much going to increase your power bill by 25% in the wintertime. So if your power bill was 200 at the most coldest time of the year, it'll be 225. But it went up a little bit more than that, so it's going to be like 255, which is weird. I don't know how that works, and I still can't figure out the math on how that works. Maybe I got it wrong. I sometimes have it wrong. But it seems to always equate to something weird in math due to the fact that the taxes and fees and some type of crazy ass stuff that we can't quite contemplate, because they make it so that we pay these things without question. And if you really understood how we got power and how power is generated, the people that slaved for the power lines to go to our house were pretty much our ancestors that did all this work, that put the telephone poles in and did all the wiring to our houses. And then they made it very difficult for certain reasons to make it to have an electrician license, which is a good idea because people need a journeyman, somebody to freaking point out how to not make a house burn down, which I agree with. And that's why they did the journeyman thing, because if the more people that are licensed to have, and have a helper and somebody that can look at it and make sure your house is going to burn down, which I understand all the concepts of it, but could I actually be an electrician even though I know all these concepts and understand all this stuff? Not unless I was a fucking millionaire and I could pay off some politicians to get myself my own license. But other than that, no. If you don't have the money to do so, you have to follow the program that the public follows. And I really do kind of think it's a safety feature of electricians, because I literally had a dude come to my house for a company, which is my renting, and they literally hooked up a fucking ground wire, and I was so uncomfortable with that because I knew better, because I'm not even an electrician, but I know what it takes because I did a whole bunch of classes, and I was thinking about being a journeyman, so I knew that fucker did something super wrong. You can't do that. You can't take the fucking ground wire and make it neutral. No, you can't do that. It's a fire hazard, because you're going to bypass the fucking breaker if anything goes wrong. You're going to burn down my fucking house. Period. And I knew that. And so I literally bitched about that to the thing. And he literally bitched to them, and they were going to evict me because they thought this. And I'm like, no, send somebody out here that's a true electrician, and they'll tell you that I'm not lying. And they did. That's exactly what happened. They had a real electrician to come out to my house. And then they found the actual real problem that the other electrician couldn't follow, couldn't figure, couldn't find, because he wasn't an electrician, and saved me from literally getting evicted from my house. Because if it wasn't for this dude, your shit would have fucking burnt down. This whole fucking house would have burned down, and the insurance shit would have fucking covered half the cost. Well, maybe they did want the shit to burn down. I don't know, but if they would have went and did all that, the legal fucking shit would have probably fucking canceled it out because the dude wasn't an electrician, and so they would have been frauds, and the shit would have been really nightmarish on their part. So if it did burn down and they found out that that fucking electrician that wasn't an electrician and they didn't do his background and they had him do work, all sorts of shit could have fucking happened to them. It would have been a nightmare. So I saved them a fucking nightmare. So I think I did good. Yeah, I think I did good. I'll be right back. But anyways, it is Christmas. It's Christmas, but what is Christmas? That's the question. What really is it? Is it a lie? Is it a sly way to bring in people that believe that there's a sun? What nowadays we know, even sun worshipers, even anybody in ancient days would know that the sun, we ain't the only sun. They're going to know that the stars are actual suns. They're going to know particular things about the universe that, nowadays, we know so much these days compared to people in ancient times. We have seen the heavens in more detail than any other generation on this planet. We've seen planets close up that our ancestors would have dreamed and been mesmerized. I mean, we are such a lucky, fortunate generation in life. Like, we can you even imagine? I'm not saying, I'm just saying we literally don't even know what we have, compared to think about it. We literally have a phone we can hold in our hand with infinite access of knowledge and ideas, some of which might not be correct, but at least we have the right to determine. We can just look through all sorts of stuff. We have social media that can be totally toxic to our health, but we have the right. We can just literally just access it at the top of our fingertips. I mean, I just hope that everybody isn't making one person decide their decisions and thinking. It's like, oh, just because your friend doesn't think it's that way doesn't mean it isn't that way. I mean, don't ever let one person determine what you believe is real in reality, and always freely speak about it. We live in a free country, and if somebody can't respect your theory, when there's so many respected theories out there, and I think everybody should respect everybody's theory. If you can't have proof of something, that's considered a theory. It's an idea, a great idea. Stop. It's like, hey, that's what it is to be human. You have to be able to compromise. At least that's my understanding of being human. You got to be able to. What is human? I mean, it really pissed me off because I was scientifically disproven because scientists considers us animals, where the Bible considers us above all animals. And so, I didn't realize that science has actually put us in the biblical tense of science put us in the categorize us as animals, but not yeah. But anyways, we're considered animals. But in scientific thing, we're the only animal that, besides dolphins, and with the ability to control things, the ability to create things. We have more things not in common with a dolphin than anything else. It's like we actually can do things, and we just have more of a conscious sense than they can prove that dolphins have. I know there's tons of really smart animals, and I don't think dolphins are the number one smartest of the equal two, because there's a ton of other animals, and that's why they think that some type of chimpanzees or apes or something, we came from those, but there's no evidence. It's just a theory. There's no evidence that we came from apes. The only evidence is your freaking imagination, because there's no physical evidence that we came from apes. The only physical evidence that they tried to determine was one bone or some shit. It's ridiculous. It's not even enough to consider evidence. It's like trying to say, you murdered somebody and all they found was a tooth and no bone, no gun, no gunpowder. You murdered them with this weapon and there was no weapon. It's so ridiculously unfounded that you'd have to be an idiot to believe it. But, that's what it says in the Bible. It says you're a fool to believe that there is no God. And I have to agree with that, because all other aspects of it make no sense. And I'm not mad at you for not believing there is no God. I don't hate you because you don't believe there is no God. I'm just saying, don't hate me because I'm the messenger. I mean, just because you don't believe there is no God doesn't make it factual that there is no God. I mean, you can believe that there is no God, but just because you believe something doesn't make it true. There's got to be a God, because there's no way in hell I can smoke these cigarettes like I do without him freaking cleaning my lungs out. And it's like some people get cancer. Maybe it's because of a lack of understanding, or I don't know. Maybe it's because it's their time. It's so freaking random. It is so random and so devastating. My neighbor died of cancer, and she don't even smoke cigarettes. It's like, it's sad, and I'm mad. I'm mad. I mean, I even prayed. I asked her, I said, man, she'd been really nice. I don't know what she did. I don't know what her life was entailed about. I didn't ask. It's not my business. So, but the whole thing is, at least when you die, I mean, the good news about dying, that's the good news, you guys. I mean, I hate to freaking tell you or be the bearer of good news, but the good news is all this stuff, no matter how you're going to say it, it really appears to me, looking at it through every single angle that I could possibly say, it's flowing towards everything is still on the course. I have not found any doubt in my mind that we're right on the course for what it's saying, what it's prophesied, what is going to happen. And it's just the timeline is the only thing that's really hard to fathom, because the timeline of God is so much more greater and also faster at the same time that we don't know it. Because it says, and I know, 1,000 years is one day to God. One of our days is 1,000 years to God. And then one of our days is 1,000 years is but one of our days to God. And so when God says one day, it's pretty much 1,000 of our years. But then also one of our days, he can do as much as we do in 1,000 years in one of our days. That's what I got from what it was written and how it was written. And it makes more sense than anything if you look at the scheme of the universe. and how fast it's been expanded, how science is expanding, how fast light travels, how all this stuff happens. And I'm sure those numbers are just an estimate. So it's probably greater, because how could you fit that many zeros if it was faster? And then even if that was even close to accurate, how would you, because it was only benefited. It literally says in the Bible, it says inspired, beneficial for teaching and for proving. It does not say that everything is completely accurate. It just says it's inspired and beneficial for teaching. It never limits the fact that there's a possibility that time for God could literally, he could pause all life on earth and change everything and wait a million years. Like, what, he couldn't just like pause us all and make us like a whole entire 24-hour period and do everything, and boom, we wake up at 20, we wouldn't have no idea. Like, I'm not kidding you, we wouldn't, because just think about it. He has the power to take away the spirit of life. The spirit of life is what makes us realize that life exists. And we share the spirit. We all share the same spirit. The only thing that makes us unique is our body, our time, and our brain, the way it was developed in the womb. And he definitely did not determine all the side effects of all the stuff, but he has to stand down because he is giving the devil the opportunity to prove himself, and he is failing miserably. Like he knew was going to happen, because this is how shit rolls. It doesn't roll uphill, it rolls downhill, just like everything's written. Never rolls uphill. You never go back on anything you say. I mean, it's just common sense. You never deny something that you believe in. If you believe in it, you believe in it. And if it's true, it's true. And I am just saying my understanding of stuff and reality is only getting a little better. Now, the only thing I hope is I can get a little bit more aware of everything else and apply it more directly into my everyday actions. So it's like when I actually, because I failed it a couple times. I'm thinking, man, what the hell? I mean, it made no difference. A couple times, it just kind of pissed me off. I could have made a better decision, but we learn from our mistakes. That's true, but still, I'm kind of irritated because I thought I could have made an immediate good decision back in the day. But who's to say the decision I previously made wasn't a bad one? See, that's the thing, is I always second guess myself, but I think that's a good thing. Always second guess yourself. I mean, but never deny you're doing it for a good reason. If you're making this decision, make sure it's the best decision you could make, at the time. Especially if somebody needs help. And you obviously probably need help too at the same time, but who needs the most help? All I can say is sometimes those things work hand in hand, and I made a mistake on that one point. But either way, I'll never forget it, and I won't let it happen again. But either way, point is, I don't believe Christmas is as fancy as it is meant to be. I mean, I think that these same loving qualities of Christmas should happen all year round. I don't think that you should give gifts only on Christmas. It's like, oh, you can only buy certain things on Christmas. You can only celebrate somebody's birthday. You can't celebrate somebody's death. I think that you should be more prone to, basically celebrate somebody's death because you know what's going on, but you'd only know that if you knew the truth of reality. I mean, the only way to find the truth of reality is to seek and search. And it's kind of weird because a lot of people don't really understand where we came from and how we exist and what the definition of death actually means. And what is death? What is life? First off, you got to know what life is. And life means that we've become aware and what caused life. And a lot of people don't realize that. And it says in the beginning of Genesis, and it also says another thing that will point out to your ego and all the stuff is it always gets to me is the fact that nobody lives past 120 years. And that's written right after Moses got out of the not Moses, Noah got out of the ark, and yeah, my spirit will not reside with man for more than 120 years. We used to live 1,000. What's 1,000 years? And it says, you eat this fruit, you will die. Within a day of you eating it, you will die. Within the day of you eating it, we never lied. It happened. They died within 1,000 years. The day he meant was his day, not a 24-hour period. The division between light and darkness, which I thought was kind of interesting. It's like it's so confusing, but yet if you understand it in a bigger sense of reality, because if you only thought about it scientifically, you'd never come to any conclusion that, oh, they did die within the day of them eating that fruit, which would confuse a lot of people because, you died, and the day of you eating it, you didn't die. They lived 900 years, 900 something years. It says in the Bible, it said in a day they're going to die. They lived a whole bunch of days and years. And that right there, even Genesis proves that it's 1,000. Not even does the other Psalms and other things point that out, but even Genesis proves that 1,000 is the actual realization of the time of God, which I think is kind of interesting. But that means that the other part that he said, which is kind of intriguing, a lot of people probably just overlooked when they read it. It's like 1,000 years is but one day, is 1,000 years is but a day. So he literally says it. I've read it several damn times, and I cannot come to another conclusion that the fact that he means is 1,000 years to us is but one day to God, and 1,000 years, a day to us is but 1,000 years to God. So literally, he can do as much as we do in one day in 1,000 years. So literally, but it is probably simplified because it is beneficial for teaching and reproving and for setting things straight. So the number is probably a higher and greater and a lot more complicated than that, but it was simplified. It's simplified. So your guess is as good as mine when it comes to the difference between those times and my times, and how long a day is to God, and how slow time is to us compared to God. See, you think about it. If you look at a fly and see how much they can do in one day, the maggots, you look at other life forms to see how fast they produce. They can do more than we can comprehend, and an ant can move so much in so much time, and we can't even barely comprehend that. Like, what the hell? Just think of how fast, if you slowed down time to the point of 1,000 years is one of our days to God, but yet 1,000 years is but one day to God. And you realize that the comparison, we're like right in the middle, the mirror image of God. In a sense, we're right in the middle of the timeline of God, which is insanely accurate to the fact that it says the image of God, the mirror image. I don't know if that means anything, but it's just so coincidental. I just realized it at the top of my head. Isn't that so coincidentally, like identically, like right there in the mirror image of God? Like we're like right in the middle of the 1,000 years to the 1,000 years that is insane. I find it fascinating and I find it intriguing, and I don't understand why nobody else is talking about that particular part of God's existence. and the potential part of time in general. In general, a lot of people don't even talk about that. Like literally in a microscopic scale, we look at processors, we know how fast molecules and light can travel. And I never did the calculation of how we know exactly how fast light can travel. I never divided that by how much that is. Is it 1,000? Oh my God, I need it. I need to freaking figure that shit out. Man, somebody help me do the math. Okay, we got time. Time of light speed. Light speed is so many millions of seconds. You divide that. Is it really 1,000 years per one day? Could it really travel 1,000? Could it be 1,000 or close to 1,000 for that matter? Because if it only takes 2 seconds for it to travel or move 1,000 or something of 1,000, I don't know. I mean, the whole thing is, I think I can. If it relates to a particular number, it doesn't really matter because I don't believe it's accurate. I don't think the Bible would be particularly exact to the exact number. They're going to get close because it's not like it because it literally says it was an estimate because 1,000 years is but a day, but a like 1,000 years. It never says a specific number. It's just giving you an idea of the realization of the difference of the timeline of us and God, which I find fascinating. And a lot of people don't realize that if you don't look at the Bible, you don't learn anything. But if you don't believe in God, then you don't learn a damn thing either. But I can obviously see that the algorithm does not like me talking about God, which you can imagine because Satan hates God. In this Bible, I mean, in this platform, does not want me to talk about God, period, unless I'm giving you some false information about God. And it could just be my superstition. But either way, I am not pointing at you. I'm pointing at the fact that there's nobody out here. Anyways, I'm not going to remove this because I think I said what I meant, and I don't think I contradicted myself in any way. I mean, even if I did contradict myself, it was on purpose. And it's just to make you think because I'm always thinking and I always contradict my ideas because I'm not sure about them 100%. And I think everybody should not contradict themselves, but yet come to a full understanding and conclusion and accurate knowledge of God. And the only way to do that is without, well, you can't lean upon your own understanding, but you can definitely get somebody to help you agree. All you have to do is just ask the concept. And if many people agree with just particular, don't ever bring up God. Say, does this make sense to you? Yada, yada, yada. Don't put God in the mix. And then people give you an honest opinion. You got a good opinion, you got a good concept, then you got a good answer. You're not leaning upon your own opinion. You're actually taking, you're using people because don't let their feelings get in the way of your understanding is my point. Because a lot of people will not be honest about that. Yeah, they like to believe what they believe. They want to have an excuse for what they're doing wrong. And God even said he was going to make sure they heard I'd be okay with that. Because it's really interesting if you look into it that way. Because I've also experienced those particular things. So I'm pretty sure. But yeah, anyways. I'm just saying, I really don't, I'm not going to sit here and freaking tell you that I know I'm going to be saved by God, but I do know that God loved me. He loves me and he definitely wants me to overcome any problems I have. And he wants me to continue to do and stop doing anything that is wrong. And that's just a concept. Not just a concept, but it's an actual factual thing. If you do get rid of all the crap of this world and you can walk away from it without looking back like that one lady did and turn into a pillar of salt, you could walk away from this planet just like Enoch did. Nobody's going to miss you. You'd be a missing person, but you can walk away from it anytime without committing suicide, without getting rid of it. Just get to know God. That's the best escape from this world. Get to know God and walk with God, and God will take you. He ain't going to tell you that, but if he took Enoch, he can take you too. You walk with him, you find love in God, and God will walk you out of this world. I know he will, because he's a God of love. And be happy to see you happy. That happened to you. No joke. But I know it's possible. If it was possible before, it's going to be possible again. God takes the people that he loves. And I'm not kidding you. All things are possible when it comes to this planet and this world. All things are possible. So the sky is the limit. Your heart and your soul and your integrity when it comes to God, you can do all sorts of things. Everything. Because we influence God as God influences us. We are the image of God. That's why he gave his only begotten son. Pretty much his only begotten God. From what I'm reading, that's what it looks like. And the way I read it, it's kind of like there's a God of the universe and there's a God of our galaxy. But I don't know. I don't know for a fact, and I don't know because it doesn't tell me. I don't know. The only way I'd know for a fact is if God told me personally. And if God told me personally, people would tell me I was insane. But if he did tell me personally, would I tell you? Would I be afraid to tell you he told me personally? No, I certainly wouldn't be. I certainly would not be afraid. But a lot of people want to get attention. So a lot of people lie and pretend that God actually told them to do something. No, I mean, I would never do that. I mean, if God actually told me to do something, I would actually be completely honest that this is exactly what happened. Could it have been but I can still see him pointing at me. So yeah, I think he's there. But that's never happened. I mean, I don't have no God pointing at me, but I do have situations in my life where it feels like God saved me quite a few times for some purpose. But that's the only thing I have, just strange, weird situations where I should be dead. And if I would have been there at that particular time, I got sick. Yeah, I got sick, and yeah, they got killed and I didn't. Or quite a few other. Well, actually, I can only probably think of two at the top of my head because the other ones I smothered because it's just unbelievable. Because it's my mind playing tricks on me, I think. But I know that there's a very, very sense of involvement when it comes to spiritual enlightenment. When it comes to me, I really believe that there's been some times in my life that I've been affected by a spiritual being due to prayer or just circumstance, random crazy circumstance, which is like, who gets a fever of 103 and starts puking up their food when they're the night before is ready to run away when they're like young, and you're going to run away. And then the person that's wearing your coat, because he's like, well, I had two coats. So I gave him one of my coats. And I went to this facility, and it's like, and next thing you know, I am sick as a dog. I couldn't even freaking breathe in food. And, I kept puking up everything I could eat, and literally only lasted fucking 12 or 14 hours. I literally was fine right after they left. After I puked, I was fine. After they left, I was fine. I mean, I literally was struck with sickness, so I didn't follow them. And then go figure, the guy that I was going to go with was shot in the back with my jacket on. Shot in the back and killed with my coat on. With my favorite coat on, by that means, because it was my red one. Anyways, I mean, I'm just saying that I know God's looking out for me. He wanted me to live for some purpose. And I guess he just knows that I'm never gonna hate him. I know, because I'm never gonna hate God. I mean, it's not his fault for all my misery and all my problems. It's never gonna be his fault. It's always gonna be my fault because I could have made better decisions. I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that I can realize that because I got a dad that's rich and's got money, and he always helped me when I need it, And I got multiple dads. Maybe that's the fact that I never had a normal life. But what is a normal life these days, man? There's no such thing as a normal life these days, you guys. There really isn't. Nobody has a normal life in these times. Some people are stuck in those areas in the world where they're like in misery. Could you imagine? I mean, like I talked to some people, and it's like, oh, they can just leave. They got the freedom. No, they don't. No, there's people stuck and born, and they have no way out. They're trapped in these scenarios, and they have no idea. They have no idea that there's a better life somewhere else. They have no freedom. And it's like for somebody to deny the fact that there's other people in this world that can't control their destiny or can't control their life, it's just like heartbreaking to not realize that, because that was the goal of the United States, is to bring freedom to every nation, to let them choose where their people want to live. That was the whole purpose of everything, I thought. We, the people, we wanted to bring this all around the world, and we wanted to we, the people, make the decisions, not the governments of the world. We were going to be the world power of the people, not the world government power. We are still turned into our government is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. We are not supposed to be like this. We are supposed to be a kind, loving, helpful country for other countries. We are supposed to make those terrorists shiver in timber and not make them afraid of us, but make them want to join us. We are not supposed to be making fucking terrorists tremble. We want them to fucking put down their arms and stop what they're doing and join us, and not in all the terrorist people that are in that group defy their leader. When we want to make the freaking terrorists want to stay with their leader, we're doing the exact opposite we were trying to accomplish. As the people, we do not want the war. We do not want it. We want people to earn their keep in this world. We want to help the people get up to earn what they deserve. We don't want to bring everybody down. As a real government agency, as a real government God-bound worshiping nation, we are failing in miserable parts of that. Because if we actually had God on our side still, we would have a great economy. We would have never been affected by COVID, and we wouldn't have to wear masks. Because if we were a nation under God, we would have to just pray. Because nothing can penetrate the barrier of God. A faith conquers everything. And you guarantee you, a nation with faith overcomes all other nations. Believe that. Israel we would have stole Israel's domination over the fact that God loves Israel. God has been very patient with Israel due to biblical stuff, but we could have been the new Israel, but we threw that shit away. I don't know how, but we did. We could have been, because we were a nation under God, and we could have applied every biblical thing to our nation. We could have been a great nation, but we keep throwing the shit away. Maybe it's the only point is just believe in God. Everything's happening for a reason. It's been prophesied. It's going to happen this way because it's already going to happen. There's nothing you can do. There's destiny in a sense, but there's no destiny in every individual life. It's just going to happen this way, regardless of how long it takes. It could slow it down, but it's just they know this is going to happen. You can slow it down all you want, and that's what I think the government, the devil's definitely trying to do. Not the government. The government knows there's a God. I mean, and believe it or not, they know there's a God. That's why they got rid of God out of the thing, thinking if we get rid of God, we got more time. But they actually just gave themselves less time. But that's what they did. Because once you get rid of God out of the picture and you don't respect God and you think that everything is like boom, but no. Because you like the way the world works. You like having fancy things. And it's like, what is fancy things? Because you imagine what kind of fancy things we're going to have without this bullshit around? I gotta say, is one fancy thing that we're going to have beyond this planet's fancy gaming shit that we're going to have. Can you imagine actually knowing God, your creator? I mean, that alone is going to be the fanciest thing I'm looking forward to, but just imagine what we could do with that and what's going to happen. It's going to be like the movie. We're going to be living in a movie with the most happiest ending in the planet of planets. It's going to be like that, and I believe it. I know it's going to be. For the people that actually are good people, we're gonna be in that. No, even the everlasting contempt, everlasting torture, it's not gonna last for them. They're just gonna know, just like Adam and Eve, that they fucked up. Now I don't even know, and that's the question I don't even know, is how do you forgive the first creation? So that's how strict God is. So if you can't forgive Adam and Eve, you gotta watch your step. So I'm pretty much screwed then. I mean, you can't forgive Adam and Eve, and I already knew, and I knew stuff, and I'm still drinking. Oh my God, I'm screwed. It doesn't mean I hate God. Doesn't mean hey, dude, righteousness will prevail, and I want that. I want that for my kids. I want that for everybody in this world, period. Even if I can't be a part of it, I can bear with it, man. I've been there. Even Judas Betrayer hung himself from a tree. He made a mistake he wasn't happy with. I mean, at least I didn't do that bad. I mean, I couldn't bear that, but still, I can understand. At least he was a part of it. He was a part of making everything happen. And it was known, he was part of the plan, or part of the scenario of everything coming in together as a place of everything. So his guilt trip, I don't know, death forgives all sins. So Judas Betrayer, in my opinion, he's done. He's forgiven his sins. He can be resurrected and he can live a happy life with God. And God will not make him regret, because that's how God rolls. He is not a vengeful. He is a very forgiving, understanding, vengeful, jealous, which is everything understandable when it comes to a creation that is a being of almighty integrity. I mean, you can't ever question that. But but it says in the Bible, in every aspect, death is forgiveness of sins, and it is. There's certain sins you can do, but hanging yourself due to grief is not a technical. I mean, it's supposedly, but it is always everything is forgivable only when it all depends on what your heart and how you are. It really is. I mean, literally, God knows every detail about your being, so can't hide anything. You are more naked than a stick of grass. I mean, you don't realize it because he created every atom and molecule in you, and you're the dust particles that we're made out of. So you can't question his judgment, and he's going to give that power to certain angelical beings, so he don't have to, because too. He's just so forgiving. He ain't gonna step in on that. So, let those angelic beings make the best decisions that they could possibly do. And stuff like this will never happen again. Stuff like this will never happen again because it says pain will be no more, no death be no more, no pain will be anymore. Former things will pass away. These things will pass away. So the concept of there being an everlasting hell is shattered. The concept of there being a everlasting hell for anything, because if death and Hades were thrown into the lake, and nobody finishes the damn end of the book, it's like, what the hell? You just like read all the way up to the most exciting chapter, and then you just put the book down, and then you start preaching what you think you know. Finish the damn book, man. Finish the damn book, and then you start talking about, what is the good news? I mean, you don't even know what the good news is. God Himself will wipe out all the tears from your eyes, and death will be no more. In every single concept of that scenario, that's what happens. So I don't know. I don't know if you want to worship this fucking world. You want to be all weird and stuff, go for it. I can say fuck it. I keep saying those dirty words. It's like I don't even consider them dirty because I'm so used to saying them, which is not okay. I mean, they're not dirty because I clean them. I mean, because I'm not meaning it in a dirty way. Because everybody's saying it like it's clean, so don't judge me on the way I use my words. The only thing I hate is just being judged, because I'm not judging. I don't want to judge myself. I mean, if I start judging myself, I'm going to feel I'm not worthy, and I really think that if anybody judges themselves, they're going to feel that they're not worthy. That's why I don't want you to judge, because even though you think you might have committed something, even if you committed murder, you're still worthy. Because if you killed me, I'd forgive you. I don't see why not. What, you kill me for my $100 or kill me for something, jealousy, whatever? But it all depends on if you were sorry about it. Like, really sorry about it. Like, you really didn't know who you killed. That's the whole thing. I mean, I could forgive you. I mean, how you doing, Ariel? Good to see you. But I could literally forgive somebody that killed me. I don't really care. I mean, it just, if you killed somebody I loved, it'd be harder. It'd be easier for me to forgive you if you killed me than me to forgive you that if you killed somebody I loved. But I guess that's another topic. But how you doing? I don't know. I'm just talking about Christmas and stuff and things I believe that are not normal. And like a lot of people don't realize, a lot of people don't think about, a lot of people don't realize and don't even think about, knowledge in sense like, I mean, where did we come from? What's the purpose of life and that kind of thing. But I kind of skipped those aspects of it. So, I mean, I started jumping right to the why, right the heck, why are we celebrating Christmas? Why can't we celebrate Christmas every single day and treat everybody like this every day? I'm going to leave you running and I'm in a lot of pain on my back. I sound like my dad. He's got a lot of pain in his back. Hmm. Have you, you know what I found? I found work really good for pain in your back. And I didn't even tell my dad this. He bought like a fancy chair. It's like, and I have back pain. I stay in one position and I focus on the pain. I focus on the pain and I focus on the pain. I focus on the pain so much that it becomes, you try to trick your mind into making it feel good. But you realize, I mean, a lot of people don't realize, like an itch in your mind, like it's called shrieking. I don't know. I've done it with pain, a lot of pain. Anytime I get a lot of pain, like a headache, a really severe headache, sometimes it works and sometimes it makes it worse. So beware. So maybe not try this because there's a risk that it can actually make it more painful. It happened with one of my headaches because I actually made it more worse than it was. But it could actually, you could take control of it if you if you do it right, I guess. I guess it's just kind of like a mind over matter thing. But it's literally, I sit down, I focus, I listen, I literally listen to the pain. I go to the pain in my mind and try to like feel it. I move to feel it and I try to focus on it. And I and if I focus on it enough, it goes away. I mean, you have to like literally like put all your thoughts in it. And then if you don't move, for some reason, your mind gets used to it or something. I don't know what the hell happens, but if you do it with a headache, sometimes the headache just goes somewhere else and gets 5 times worse. I've had it happen with the headache, but back pain, I've never had that with back pain. But it could. I don't know. I've never had it happen. But if I focus on it long enough, it tends to don't whatever you do, don't take painkillers because painkillers end up making it worse. I don't know why, but painkillers end up tending to make it worse. It temporarily gives you the relief, but if you move in the wrong order or do something, it's going to come back 5 times stronger or at least 2 times stronger. So to make it go away permanently is going to take probably surgery or healing, and that takes time to heal. And so you're gonna have to take it a lot easier on your back. You're gonna have to like lay down a lot and move. Doesn't mean you have to be immobile. You just have to like literally take it easy. Don't lift anything heavy, and then you're gonna have to take it easy for at least a month, and then you can go a little bit higher, a little bit heavier, and then because movement is not going to promote fixing. You have to just slow down a little bit, and because your body heals when it needs to be used, but it can't heal when it's overused. So if you're being overworked, you will never be fixed. You can't get fixed because I've done that. I've tried working. I worked a heavy 12-hour, 8-hour shift job where I'm flipping heavy boards, and I just ended up deteriorating left and right. I destroyed my elbows and shit. I couldn't lift anything after I quit. So, point is, you just got to like take your time with it. And I think you know this because it's just common thing, but it works for some people and sometimes it doesn't work for everybody. But I mean, everybody has a little bit of a difference when it comes to any type of body healing. And Prayer might help too, because honestly, that could actually fix you immediately at any point in time. As much faith as you have, if you have a faith of a sliver of a mustard seed, you probably can heal yourself in 20 seconds. But yeah, just a tiny bit of faith that I can do whatever I want if I believe in God. Yeah, you probably can get that. I'm just saying, just worth a test, worth a shot. So if your back heals, that means you got a lot of faith. If you have a lot of faith, your back is going to be perfect. You're not going to have no back pain. So just test your faith. I'm not saying test God, test your faith. Do I have faith in God? Say a prayer. You'll find out. Because if it's in his will, and I guarantee you it is, any type of ailment, he don't want anybody to be in pain. He don't want anybody to be crippled. So that's in his will. So don't anything. I mean, unless you're trying to win the lottery, that don't work because it's not in his will. I mean, just let you know, I tried. It doesn't work. And winning the lottery is probably not going to help you in any which way. Period. I'm just saying. Well, I don't really desire to win the lottery. I mean, though I think it would help me, but I doubt it would in the long run. Factually, where's my cord? My phone's at 5%. It's time to plug her in. %. Well, thank you, Ariel. It really does help when people are watching me, but it doesn't even say you're watching. So it says so literally they know that you're watching me in the background. So you're not even counting. It's crazy. And YouTube algorithm's smart now. So when I'm in the background, I'm not being watched. And it's funny that I know that, and that's why when I watch people's streams, I literally have to put them on different monitors because they know when you're behind another tab. So your watch time doesn't count anymore unless you actually have it on an open tab on an open screen where it actually can be viewed. Because the browser's been very updated and very, very well modified. But it's good. It's a good thing and a bad thing, and well, not really a bad thing. Anything that makes things accurate and more precise is a good thing. So technically, it's always a good thing when somebody is. I mean, they're trying to do a good thing, but it's not going to work because can't do a good thing and have it be a bad thing. Seems like a good thing, but it's just how it works. Sucks, but it's how it rolls. By Northern Ohio Road Actions and Ariel Williams, it's good to see you. Team Ranger and everybody. I'm getting drowsy and I'm fading. And I need to make sure my kids fall asleep because it's Christmas. And I gotta drive them to their Christmas presents. Oh, I don't want to have to go drive anywhere. I just want to lay down. Oh, and I've been playing this damn game, Star Citizen. What do you guys think? I think I should do that live. I think you guys would enjoy it because it is a very expensive game to play on you have to have a high-end system that's expensive. So it'd be very few people playing that game live. I mean, I was able to increase my frame rate very drastically. I got up to 40 frames and I was able to stream it, which they said was impossible with OBS. I'm like, well, my computer didn't have no problems with it, I think. I don't know. Anyways, there's this huge bug that came out with the bounties in this. I mean, not this recent patch because it was before that. And so I ended up getting a bounty and surrendering myself, and now I'm like glitched out of the game. What the hell? I mean, and thank God the game was gifted to me, so I'm not mad. He'd be pissed, But they never even expected me to play the game as long as I did. They just wanted me to check it out, you know. So, I mean, he got me an account and it's open with all the glitches. It's not like I was expecting. They weren't even playing with me anyways. It's like, whatever. They weren't expecting it. I don't even give a shit. Like, he gave me the money to get the game. He wanted me in the game. He wanted me to get to know the game. So it's nothing lost for him. He's happy with it, no matter. I mean, I think they're doing a great job with the game, and do a lot more than when I thought. I just kind of want to be a developer to help the progress because I think I could really make that game. If they made me a developer or somebody in that game, something to help guide the shit into production, somebody with authority to say fucking not yeah, no, you got to do this first and that later. No, you have somebody to prioritize the more conceptual things and finalize certain things before you start adding things. And that's this, they need somebody with the director type of mentality, and I could fill that role because I know what needs to be done on that game and where they need to slow the fuck down on that game, and they need to like step back a little bit because they're going above and beyond their means. It's a great game. It really is. I mean, probably makes God jealous. I ain't gonna lie, because of the fact of how it's in the universe and it's a star program. But it can make people also respect the fact that there's a universe that we live in that we don't respect either. So it could be a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. And you got to look at everything as a fact, as that type of particular situation, I think. But as long as you're not loving it and you're just enjoying it, there's a big difference between love and worship. So as long as you're not bowing down to it like it's a god, then you should be good. That's my point, and I think I'm sticking to it. And I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and have a very happy holiday. And I appreciate everybody that's been in my stream and all my members and all my moderators. I love you guys. I mean, I wouldn't I wouldn't know what to do without you guys because you guys are awesome. Thank you. And I hope you guys have a happy Christmas and happy New Year, and I'll see you soon.